there's a case to be made of why they are the key for this matchup.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Any one of them is 100% capable of taking over a game, and there's no better way to find out who it is than to get things started.
We'll get the first match underway, the first game underway with Vitality in the orange, Mousesports in the blue. A best of 5 for top 3. You'll put yourself into the upper finals. Cookster in midfield, challenged by Alpha off the ceiling with a reset to work with. Arju gets the block. K-Dop keeps it in the blue, and Speed will now try to stop it in midfield. K-Dop pass across to Alpha. Slow to get to the ball, though, and Cookster able to push it into the corner. Alpha lofts it in midfield. Fairy Peak thinks about challenging, but now leaving it. Alpha again will just play some stall game in the mid. Fairy Peak will try to pick this up. A lot of solo dribbling and stalling efforts from Vitality so far in the first match.
And they've had to, because they're trying to keep things away from those Mousesports players in the midfield who are trying to come in for the demos and open up space. So it's forcing Vitality to put balls out towards the sides of the pitch and try and keep possession before they can really set up the offense. But they might have caught him back the other way. Arju just in time. Make a good stop.
We'll get back. Keep us scoreless here. About a minute and a half in. Arju's touch into the midfield will be picked up by Fairy Peak, and now Alpha to take a shot here. 2 players up. Cookster gets the block. Fairy Peak now. 1 boost. Cookster keeps it high. K-Dop up to respond. Speed at the edge. Now Arju off the backboard. Fairy Peak will pick this one up again, looking for the dribble plays. Tries to get under Cookster. There's 1 block. Arju and Speed double commit in the midfield, but Arju will hold on to the dribble. Give them a strong offensive position. Gets it off that top vertices, and Alpha will be up for the block before Speed can take a shot.
I think, to be honest, it was probably a good thing that Arju's the one to come down with that ball, because at the end of the day, the important thing when you play against Vitality is possession of the ball. And Arju coming down with that allows him to continue pressure, and they still have possession here 15 seconds later, trying to crack Vitality.
K-Dop. Past 1. Now Fairy Peak. Trying to gain a foothold in offense. Vitality, 1 really decent look at the net. Everything else has been mouse. Here comes Arju with the dribbles through 1. K-Dop's up for it quickly, and now it's his turn to dribble towards the goal. Speed will have it out of the box into the corner. Cookster will find that transitional touch to midfield. Speed now, back down to the edge. Alpha, off of a 1 bounce, Arju plays it to midfield, and Speed will advance, gets it over the top of 1. Here's Arju to see if he can find a pass. Cookster moves into the midfield to try and take the shot, but a little bit slow in the positioning, and Vitality will get in the way just fine. We'll stay scoreless past halftime.
It's a very interesting dichotomy. You see Arju, he didn't even hesitate going for that challenge for the first touch, but Cooks here took a little bit extra time to make sure he had it, and this time he almost got there. Alpha with a diving block, and the pressure continues to build for Mousesports. They're doing a great job getting the ball into the middle, but still no way to get through that Vitality goal.
K-Dop demolished and then spawn demoed immediately after the respawn. But now, with some offensive control, Alpha's going to try and set this one up. Actually plays it to the corner, a little bit too intimidated by the defenders. Now Cookster with the dribble. Cookster back on the Batmobile. Here comes Arju. Cookster takes it to the air, past 1, down into the box. No one's going to find it. We'll see Alpha find a clear out to midfield. Arju pass inwards. Speed maybe thinking about taking an advance with the double commit from Vitality. Will fend him, scare him off. Ooh. Fairy Peak with a shot onto the backboard just a bit high. Here comes Alpha. The pass back to Fairy Peak. Goes for it a second time, but this time blocked. Now K-Dop up for the 3rd attempt, but slow velocity on this ball. Gets the flick over 1, but the ball's not on target, and Speed's happy to push it to the edge. Alpha's shot from midfield on the sloppy clear will be just high. K-Dop now trying to push it into the box. Blocked by 1. Speed on the ground with Alpha going into the corner. Everything kind of like the positioning from Vitality really strong right now, but so many of these shots just going straight to the corners, nowhere near the goal. Here comes Alpha 1 last time, tries to find the dunk, but Speed's got the save. Now here comes Fairy Peak, blocked again. Cookster with the long one. Arju, oh no, it's wide of the goal. Tried to catch him on the retreat. The retreating defense, though, not going to be needed as the ball was wide of the goal.
Yeah, Arju couldn't really get under that one as much as he wanted. He had 0 boost. It demanded absolute perfection on that touch. Just couldn't get there, and Cookster now needs to buy time. Mousesports, it's been a tough past 30 seconds or so. Vitality definitely with some great pressure.
There's Arju. Final 10 seconds. On the backboard, oh, 3 players missed. Fairy Peak versus Cookster for the end of the game. Cookster's got the save. Can they get one more shot? The pass is nearly there. Blocked by Speed, though, in overtime. Looking highly likely here in game number 1. These teams evenly matched.
And just to continue my point, I think Vitality, towards the end of that game, definitely had the more threatening offense. I thought Mousesports early on were doing a great job keeping possession and trying to break down that Vitality defense, but it was definitely Mousesports who were scrambling to make stops, pulling themselves out of position. And right here is another double commit that just forces Speed to go into a race, make an awkward touch into the side, and this is what's been putting Mouse on the back foot in the last minute or so.
Oh, a beautiful pass from Fairy Peak, but well blocked by the defense on Mouse. Now Cookster onto the other end of the field. He's got into the Vitality corner, got a demolition on the Fairy Peak, but oh, the rest of his team moved up just too far and the ball slips past them. They have to retreat to pick it up. Now into the corner. K-Dop, a long clear. Arjun and Speed both up. Arjun look for a second touch as well. This is stall out the control from Vitality. But they will eventually emerge with it. Here's Fairy Peak now off the wall. Alpha's up for it. He's going to have to try and extend it back. Gets it onto the backboard, and Speed will take it away from him. First minute of overtime going to come and go. Here's Speed with the dribble pass 1. Now Fairy Peak onto the backboard again. And the clears again come through from Mouse.
Oh, Alpha, though. He's right on it. Knew exactly where that ball was headed from Arju, even with the perfectly timed power clear off the bounce. And Vitality really do have a fantastic setup here in the midfield. It has been a brick wall for some time.
There's K-Dop through the air into the corner. Fairy Peak will scoop it up underneath him and push it onto the backboard. Constantly making use of the woodwork instead of looking for passes right now. Arju looking for the goal. Actually, they just catch him too far forward, and Speed puts it through for the win.
I don't see how K-Dop doesn't jump at this ball. Let's take a look. Hang on. Okay, so there's he's focused on Arju, and he doesn't realize Speed is coming. Oh, no. K-Dop got caught out. Too focused on Arju, trying to gauge if he needed to block the second touch. Saw that Arju was going to miss it. Thought he had time. And Speed out of nowhere threw K-Dop for a loop. Tough break, and Mousesports walk away with game 1.
Yeah, no, it was going to be a game that came down to who made the first mistake. K-Dop not quite able to get there, and I feel like Vitality, many times, especially at the end of regulation, man, there was like, this is a really solid setup. You've got players who are passing to each other. You've got a player in the air to take the shot. And you've got some follow-up set up if you're able to get the defenders to have to jump and push themselves out of position. And the shots were going straight to the corners, not even forcing the defenders to make any sort of move. Vitality with opportunities to win it here in game 1, but it slips away. Mousesports will take it.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Vitality's offense. But, well, actually, I should say I was less of a fan of how coordinated Mouse's defense felt. I thought Vitality, when they were under pressure early on in the game, they did a nice job communicating, getting out of each other's way, still having to make a lot of tough stops. Mousesports definitely putting the pressure on them and forcing them to make big saves, but Vitality was always able to be in position and come up with the big touch and not get in each other's way. And that's what Mousesports did not have in that final minute or overtime, but they did get away with one. They finally poked the ball through the midfield, capitalized on the mistake, and Mousesports earned game 1.
Yeah, they absolutely did. Played very well, adjusted in the moments when they needed to clean up their own defensive mistakes or their own positioning mistakes. They were able to adjust pretty well there and get themselves a win in overtime. And now we'll go to game 2. Vitality yet to get on the scoreboard.
And you're really looking for Speed on the back line to make some better touches on the midfield. There were a couple times in that game 1 where he had opportunities for some decent clears and just ended up getting a bit of an awkward hit out towards the side that didn't really relieve any pressure. So that's the first area that I'm looking to improve. Lined up a perfect pass, and Arju just missed it.
Not quite able to reach it. That play from Mouse is... I'm interested to see a bit more of that style of play from Vitality, actually. It feels like Vitality right now trying to use the woodwork a lot, and while the backboard can be your friend, it does create an extra bounce, which gives the other team more time to read what you're doing and get in position. What a pinch down the field. Just barely wide of the net. Here comes Cookster. This one also going to be wide, and Fairy Peak will push it off to safety. Arju now trying to get through. He's going to connect with this again. No, it'll be Alpha who finds K-Dop, and they'll be able to use the wall. Cookster intercepts, and now Alpha, another pinch with Cookster. First minute going to come and go. Still 0-0.
And I'm loving the pressure Arju really puts on that Vitality defense. Anywhere on the pitch, really. I feel like he's got such a great sense of timing when he goes for challenges, keeps the rotation in order, doesn't back off and give space, and still makes a solid approach. I think he's been a fantastic pickup since they had to replace Scrub Killer. We were all like, man, how do you replace one of the best players in Europe? They found him. I think Arju looks great on this squad.
Takes the ball out of his own half and into the corner. Arju, nice touch off the ceiling, but K-Dop has the read, the master player. There's Fairy Peak looking for K-Dop, but Speed will break it up, and now K-Dop a little bit too far forward. Will have to rotate out. We'll need Alpha to come in to make a play. In the corner, he picks it up. Now looking for K-Dop, who's reset. Arju versus K-Dop in the corner. Ball stalls out. Fairy Peak struggling to gain control here, waiting for Speed. He looks for second touch and is able to completely stall this thing out. It's just been sitting in the corner for about 10 seconds now. Cookser pushes it through 2. He'll look for the setup around the corner, wraps it around in front. What a clear, excellent save from Fairy Peak, despite the pressure from the rest of the team.
Could feel Mousesports. They could feel something was there as soon as they realized Cookser won that ball in the midfield, but unfortunately they were off grabbing boost. It just took them too long to follow him all the way up the pitch. Now they might be able to get something going here. And you'd like to see them spend a bit more time on offense. They've spent a majority of this game on defense. They have the only shot, but I really do feel like Vitality's been the ones dictating pace of play here in game 2.
Fairy Peak off the ceiling. We are across halftime. Still no goals. Only 1 goal on the series so far. Arju, the attempt. K-Dop now up high. Here's Cookster to clear it. Vitality putting some pressure on the net again. The shot barely wide. Here's the one on the Cookster get back in time. He can. The long car reaches it and clears it to the corner on what was easily the most open net we've had of the series so far.
That was definitely a big miscommunication from everybody on Mousesports. They all, I think, kind of looked at each other and were like, do you have it? And everyone didn't really say anything. And thankfully, Cookser had just enough time to get back and cover.
It's Fairy Peak. The corner. Here's Speed onto the edge, onto the backboard. Here comes Cookser up against Fairy Peak. He'll get the clear away, and Speed will now look to try and pass, but Alpha breathing down his neck will get it all the way into the mouse corner, looking like it's dangerous in front of the goal. Fairy Peak with the miss. Is K-Dop too far forward? No, he is backed off just enough. He'll be able to keep it in the blue, give his teammates time to rotate around behind him, see if they can keep the drive going, but Cookser chooses to take it to the air. He'll get it past Alpha, and now Fairy Peak, a nice trap on the ground, up against Speed. He'll push it off to the corner. The final minute approaching, still 0-0 in game 2.
Ooh, delicate balancing act on defense here for Speed. He had to defend the 1v1, then nail the touch off the backboard there, and definitely being put through his paces. And Arju again with some great timing out of the net to stop a shot. And Vitality still struggling.
Folks are across the field. Fairy Peak with the attempt. Now Alpha into the corner. Speed has been wondrous on the backboard from Mouse this series. Back in front, Cookser sit off to the side. Speed with a miss in the corner, but Cookser will still hold on to control. Speed once more on the backboard to look for Arju. Arju demolished. Cookser will have to move into goal.
Oh, I love it.
And an unfortunate spawn for Arju will make things confusing. Cookser will quickly communicate, take over. His team to sort themselves out on the back line.
Oh, hello, Fairy Peak. Oh, is the one there? Speed again.
Got the kills. Lots in front of the goal. Alpha's up for it. Speed will get in the way. Overtime. A second game in a row going to happen here. Mouse going to look to try and get to match point with 2 goals.
Oh, that's criminal. Speed played such great defense this entire game. He's got 1 save on the board.
Got to stop him in front of the goal. You know, honestly, they've got to shoot a little bit better.
True.
Only 4 shots from Vitality. There's not many opportunities to get saves. It's Cookser. There in the corner, Arju. Looking to play Fairy Peak. Flicks it over the top of him. Now Speed back into the midfield. And Alpha will loft. Here comes Cookster now through the air. K-Dop to the wall. Arju adjusting here, trying to read what Fairy Peak's going to do. Fairy Peak just waits his time, mirrors Arju's motion the whole way and gets the block, and now the ball's back in midfield. Fairy Peak in front of his box. Will pass it to himself in the corner now. Another flick over 1. Fairy Peak always good to beat 1 player and then leave it for his teammates to clean up. The full French squad here looking to even the series with a goal.
Oh, this could be it. Oh, Fairy Peak with that big block. Bails Mousesports, denies them a great chance on the counterattack. And still, look at Fairy Peak. He's trying to ramp up the aggression here in overtime.
Speed onto the wall. Got Arjun in the midfield. Does he go for the pass? Just goes for the shot.
Oh!
And puts it through. Speed wins game number 2. My goodness.
Speeds put up both overtime goals. A perfect dismount from the ceiling. The light touch to keep it close, but still get it down far enough to really make the defense think about where it's going, and delivers a bullet into that top right-hand side. Beautiful shot from Speed. And again, they play a lot of defense. Overtime goes about a minute, and just like that, Speed again takes them down.
How long was the overtime in game number 1?
A minute and 29 seconds.
All right, so we've had 12 and a half minutes of no scoring here for Vitality. And they've only allowed 2 goals. Which
is good if you're the Vitality defense. You're disappointed if you're the Vitality offense. But at the same time, I mean, Mousesports really did do an impeccable job of defense here in this game, too. I really did want to see that defense get picked up a couple notches. Still under pressure. You'd like to see more clears, maybe find a few counterattacks here or there. And in that case, I don't think Vitality really needs to change anything. It's just a matter of, is everybody on the same page? Do you have the boost to get up the pitch in the face of the defense, force mistakes or not? And it's just Vitality just never really got all of those factors at the same time to really turn in a truly dangerous attack. They put the balls in some tough spots, and Mousesports handled it well. I think Vitality played a great approach on offense. It just didn't all come together at the same time.
It's pretty crazy how this game has been so evenly matched. I want to see more infield passes from Vitality. I think that would be a way that they could really open up the scoring here. But as we get into game 3, you know there's a very eager Shogun watching on the sidelines, rooting for the 3-goal series.
Yeah, the 3-0 with the 1-0, 1-0, 1-0.
We're 2 games through. One more game. Vitality scores. It's all over. You know, all Vitality fans would like to see them just put anything into the net.
Yeah.
Speed out to Arju. Alpha high. Will now come back down into the midfield. Arju with quick rotation.
And to your point, it has been fairly tough for Vitality to really get any of those passes lined up, because you can see that long clear off the backboard. Arju denied by Alpha right on the lower right-hand corner. But Vitality's had to go for these long clears, and then they have to go immediately into a challenge. Mousesports has had such great timing when it comes to challenging the ball. They don't really have the space to go for the passes and really start putting the pressure on defense.
Arju tries to play cheeky games with K-Dop, ends up putting the ball into his own corner. And now Alpha here with the pressure. He puts a shot on target and blocked by Speed. 3:54 on the clock, and Speed's defensive masterclass continues. Arju now into the corner looking for a clear. Alpha off the wall. Can he gain control here? He'll be able to win the challenge.
Oh my gosh.
Speed picks it up.
Oh my goodness.
And wins that challenge somehow, or at least neutralizes it. Now drops it back onto his hood. Over across to Arju. Alpha to pick this one up and get it through 2. Arju will push it just far enough away that K-Dop can't find the shot, but the goal from Fairy Peak comes in. The dream of the 3-goal series is over, but the dream is very alive for Vitality.
Yeah, I got a little too aggressive there, and I thought actually Arju made a great play to take that one away from K-Dop, but unfortunately didn't have enough time to recover and get back in front of Fairy Peak. And as soon as you saw that ball just stopped right there on the goal line, with Fairy Peak that close, it didn't matter. Fairy Peak's going to turn that one in every time, and a beautiful catch on the kickoff here, but unfortunately doesn't have the follow-through.
Okay, does Speed put this in? Oh, I really hope the replay catches what Cookser did here. Fairy Peak goes for the flick on him, and Cookser just takes to the air and actually catches the flicked ball to give it to Speed.
It's a big stuff, too, because definitely throws off all the defense of Vitality. They're thinking, excellent. We're just going to take this weak little pop-up from Cookser away, and then he gets on top of it and kind of just sits on top of the ball and pushes it right through him with that Batmobile. And voila.
Tie game. Mousesports right back in it after they're allowing their first goal of the series. Onto the wall, Alpha will reach. Make contact, Fairy Peak will come in for the catch, and now Cookser again challenging in the air, ball coming straight down. Arju will play it to the enemy corner. Pushing out with the challenge. Arju looking for this read off the corner edge. Dropped it the speed infield pass for the win. 2-1 now for Mouse.
Arju, what a pass here. Big block from Cooks here. Perfect read. And K-Dop is waiting in the goal line because he's expecting it's going to be maybe a shot, a touch off the backboard. He can't afford to go out and cover that passing lane because Arju is definitely capable of putting that ball on target. And Arju just on a line, straight to Speed. Perfect play.
An offensively perfect pass. That one made me just a little angry how perfect that was. Arju is an absolute monster. And Speed right there to take the shot as well. Mouse back on top now at halftime. They're able to hold on to this. That'll be the sweep of the Kings of Europe. One of the most dominant teams we've seen in a while, but they get through the defense and we're tied back up.
Well, hang on a minute. Don't get too far ahead of yourself, Wave. It takes a nasty hop. Cooks here's caught in no man's land. And Alpha just scoops it right over him. Got just enough. Or K-Dop, excuse me. K-Dop got just enough under that ball. Flipped that one by. Or did he tip it right at the end? Because it looked like Alpha hit that. How did K-Dop get that goal? What?
I just can't believe Arju got that pass as well. Beautiful passes on both sides of the ball. Puts her now through the air. Alpha off the backboard. Take it away. Nice flick. Arju with a response. Will find Cookser in his own back corner, but Fairy Peak with a quick challenge actually beat Cookser. Now Cookser's got to follow this on the wall. Find Speed down on the ground. Nope, not going to happen. Now here comes K-Dop. Now with the drop down. Oh my goodness, just barely cleaned up. Speed again finds the save.
Oh wow. Good reaction from Speed. All of Mousesports was facing perhaps the worst direction they could have in that scenario. Locked on the backboard, locked in the corner, in the goal facing the wrong direction, and they can't make it back for this one. A long clear from K-Dop. Caught by Cooks here, but not well enough. Just right off the wall, chasing it down the pitch. And Alpha in the right spot at the right time. Catches Mouse a little too far forward.
Yeah, finally, Vitality catch Speed not on the backboard. And they're able to get one backboard pass, and they make it count. 138 here with a 1-goal lead. Make it 2 off the kickoff. Fairy Peak finds the soft touch, hits him with the change-up, and they're now got a 2-goal lead.
Out of nowhere, that's a disaster, too. Arju was thinking maybe I can challenge, but he knew he's seen enough of Fairy Peak that there's definitely a lot of danger there. But even knowing that and waiting on the goal line, still couldn't make the stop. Nice play from Fairy Peak.
Now down by 2. Mouse have maintained a clean scoreboard through all of regulation in the first 2 games. Now here they're finding themselves down by 2 goals. How do they respond? Cookser was looking for the drop shot. Arju pass 1. Alpha off this wall. He's going to have to try and find a way to put pace on this ball. He's going to spend a lot of boost just getting it nowhere. Now back to midfield. K-Dop soft touch, speed up. Can he find a pass? Finds it down to Cookster, but K-Dop, understanding where the pass was going to be coming from and where it was going to, just holds his ground, finds the interception, and now back on offense.
Speed.
Alpha over 1. Speed up. Oh, he double taps him through. 5-2 in favor of Vitality.
Alpha, this was a fast ceiling shot. To himself, flies up to the ceiling and just drills that one on the crossbar. Speed, get there if you can, because Alpha was already full bore. And what a play from Alpha 54. That was pretty.
Alpha on the kickoff. Now up by 3. Vitality looking clean to take game number 3.
Oh, yeah.
They do have the difficult path of winning 3 in a row to take the series. Ahead of them here now. Cookser through 1. And that ball's going to be in as well. 6-2. Vitality just making them break as Mouse is trying to send the house to see if they can make something happen here in the end of the game.
And again, it's Cookser just making a big block. But unfortunately not enough for it to matter. K-Dop just turns it right back in because he's just camped under it.
A long car. Blocks her. I don't know. Almost harder not to block it, right? Oh my goodness, a miss from Speed. 2-7.
Jesus.
The bounties
this one
increased.
got out of this got out of hand quick, didn't it? I mean, it felt like it was still doable. I mean, it was 2-2 for a while, and then you hit the minute 40 mark, and bam, there's all that Vitality offense. They put up 4, 5 in another couple of moments. And just
this is exactly where Mouse wants them. Use up all their goals here in the one game they're going to win. And then we'll come back and pounce him in game 4. And Arju finds a nice shot. I gotta say, these infield passes from Mousesports, they're really pretty, and I do think they're going to be the key to winning the series.
It is possible. I mean, Arju has made a couple of great passes, received a couple of great passes like this one just here. But it is tough. I think both teams, with the exception of the end of this game 3, have really done a great job of having great timing when it comes to challenging the ball in the midfield. There hasn't been a lot of space for either team to really have the option or opportunity. Like the one that Arju got over to Speed earlier on in this game, it's because of the position of the ball high on the wall, coming down into the middle, where K-Dop, he doesn't have the option of trying to cut down the pass because of the shooting option. And there's been situations like that so few and far between for both teams that passes are real tough to come by here in this game. So it's tough to say. I think Vitality, what can you do? Sometimes you run away with one, and you definitely think that Mouse kind of just let this one go after it went 5-2, and they were like, okay, fine.
Yeah, they absolutely did. And it's funny because, like, I think that the infield passes are significantly more difficult to defend because of how many more options you have. We see players going for backboard plays, and as long as you have one player who is conscientious of the backboard and is in a place where he can get onto that part of the field quickly, the backboard becomes off limits for the offense. So the infield pass is significantly more difficult to defend because of how many more places you can be and how many more places they can come from and how many more angles you have to think about and predict as a defender, but they are also significantly more difficult to pull off. So it's high risk, high reward. Both teams have to play more difficult Rocket League when both teams start going for that sort of stuff, and oftentimes it starts to be like, let's go for the slightly more value play, let's go for the backboard, and that leads to kind of slower games. But as we head into game 4 here, I do think we're going to see a return of the play we saw in games 1 and 2. Very defensive, very clean, methodical plays. I'd be surprised if we have another blowout in a row.
But in games 1 and 2, if you're expecting to see that, you got to remember Vitality held most of the cards. There were a couple of moments of brilliance for Mousesports when it came to offense, but it was a 1-0 affair in both those games, and Mousesports had to make a phenomenal play to win in overtime.
Well, 3-ish shots and 3-ish misses from Vitality to start us off here in game 4. And Speed now off the wall. Here's Cookster up for it, blocked by 2. Can Arju find a shot at what is a momentarily open net? No, it won't happen in Fairy Peak. A nice long clear. Speed, not enough boost to be able to reach that. Oh, half flip back, and now Arju looking for the pass across the Speed. Alpha nearly intercepts it for the first goal of the game.
Yeah, Arju definitely looking for Speed, but did not realize his teammate was not in position. Alpha makes a diving stop, and both teams leaving a lot of opportunities on the table for each of them. This time, Fairy Peak gets in front of the shooting lane, and I think everyone's going to take a moment to catch their breath here.
Well, Fairy Pig hung up in the cherry pick, finds the shot. Oh, my goodness, and the save comes through. I can't believe he hit that. That was an absolute laser beam, and I'm also surprised it didn't go in the net.
Exactly. It's like, okay, I understand that maybe you can get the hit, but wait, you kept it out as well? Speed, you madman.
Absolute monsters. Both teams. Class acts in their region and in the world. As Alpha pushes this towards the box. Speed gets bumped into the corner. I think he actually is happy with this situation. Gives him a bit more control. Cookster get beat by Fairy Peak. Arju now with time and space. We'll take it to the wall. 21 boost to his name, and he'll look to get a pass set up here, but gets 2 defenders to bite. Now Cookster up. Can't get it past K-Dop. A wonderful hover behind that ball.
Yeah. A real excellent cover up from K-Dop right there, because Cookster was definitely about to just push that ball through 2 defenders and leave that third man in a 1-on-2, and the ability to follow a play like that, and now Fairy Peak drips one down. Everybody from Mousesports is just caught unawares. Cooks here gets no peace. Arju misses as well, and at that point, it's just a disaster.
Yeah, the 2 defenders up for the first pass attempt, and neither make solid contact, leaving the goal very open by the time Cookster's back on the ground in the goal. He has no momentum, no speed. There'll be no way to get to that ball. 3:02 on the clock. Vitality with their earliest lead of the series, I want to say. Cookster push this back down midfield. Alpha now off the ceiling. I believe he's got the flip reset to work with. See Fairy Peak onto the backboard once more off of Arju, back in front of the box. Speed past one. Alpha, shot from midfield. Arju's got the save. At halftime, still just the 1-goal lead for Vitality as they try to reverse sweep Mouse here.
Well, they got a pretty decent chance so far. Again, it's been tough for Mousesports to really break out of their own half. 1 or 2 good-looking shots, but nothing Vitality isn't capable of handling. So, dare say you were right, Wavepunk, when you're saying I expect to see more game 1 and 2 gameplay. And that means it's a lot of defense, but speed. Did he fake out K-Dop? Did he tip it under him? Second look says. All right, there's one over Alpha.
Touch, and then
it's tough to say. I don't think he hit it again.
No, he didn't because of the slowdown on the
orange trail.
The first time he did not touch it the second time. I don't know if that just was K-Dop getting mind gamed or just missed input there. But a tie game either way. Speed, in many regards, has been the standout player for me on Mouse.
Oh yeah, he's been involved in every goal so far.
And has been a stalwart defender as well. Head up to the corner now. Speed slows this down, takes one up against it. No, it's two offenders in front of him. They'll keep this one pinned in the back third. Speed having a quick point turn. Get the clear. Now 1:35 on the clock, trying to advance onto offense, but he's the only player in enemy territory. Picks her up for a block. Speed with a miss. Arju with a pass back to Speed, but Alpha will get in the way as Fairy Peak kind of pitted Speed out of position, out of contention for touching that ball. Arju turns around in the corner. Speed up. Oh my goodness, the pressure from Vitality just barely not enough to make Speed shake in his boots.
I know, it's the nerves, because if Speed just rushes that touch, he probably gets blocked and that ball goes back into the middle, but he lets it travel a little bit, lets the offensive player go right on past him and then make the clear. Oh, Speed is icy on defense today. Nothing's getting by that guy.
Cool, calm, and collected player, and it started in game 1. Oh, Speed up tried to make it happen. This one really all Alpha. Technically an own goal, but Speed, not his fault.
Great lift from K-Dop into the midfield. Finally a little bit of space. And Alpha's not concerned with placement. He's all the way, just rip this one towards the goal line and see what happens. And it happens to work out.
47 seconds left. Vitality up by 1. Game 5 starting to glimmer on the horizon and the chance of the reverse sweep. Cooks are across to Arju. They look to tie this game. Alpha now. Airborne K-Dop coming out of enemy territory. Oh, and Arju gets the dunk on Speed, but Cooks are now a nice punt. He tries to slow this down, but he gives it to Arju. The shot is good. No, K-Dop falls off the backboard and gets the save. And now can Speed find the second block? No, K-Dop through 2 all the way to the back lines. Arju out of the corner with 13 seconds left. Can they get this one out of their back half and go to overtime again? No, it's not going to matter. Alpha slams another one in, and it's 3-1 Vitality.
From the big save from K-Dop on the back wall to Fairy Peak, making everybody on Mousesports look silly in the corner to secure game 4. What a comeback from Vitality in this series it has been. Phenomenal closeout. I thought for sure Mouse were going to equalize there, but instead they're going to have to play another 5 minutes.
The only games Mouse has managed to win been 1-0 overtimes. Here, a much more normal scoreline in Rocket League, the 3-1. And they keep the ball alive, respecting the ancient rules, but it will eventually come to an end, as it always inevitably does, and we will go, Achieves, to Game 5, Vitality with all the momentum here.
Working hard for it, no less, too, and tough stuff for Mousesports. We're sitting there thinking they're getting boxed in. Towards the end of the game, they start putting a lot of great pressure. They ended the game with 10 shots. Only 1 found its way into the back. The other 9 all saved, and none bigger than that K-Dop stop right at the end. I mean, they had Fairy Peak tied up in that dribble, and I saw K-Dop was just stuck on the backboard. I was like, oh, it's a disaster.
Yeah.
And a couple of big saves early on as well, and then bang, Fairy Peak, money redirect, and that save as well. It's been 6 save after 6 save all series long.
It has been quite the defensive game. 9 saves Vitality had to put up to keep their net clean, which gives us a kind of perfect scoreline, the 10 shots to 9 saves with 1 goal let through. Every shot accounted for there vitality and finding a way to get in the way of everything that mattered here and get us to Champions Field. And they talk about K-Dop and like, oh, the one chance Mouse has here is that it's not Sunday. So like K-Dop's not going to be firing on his Omega cylinders. But I don't know. I feel like Game 5 is kind of also the same equivalent here for K-Dop.
I very much could believe that. He's won a lot on this stadium, and that's the reason it's up there in the rafters 3 times, and he rightfully gets to wear his 3-time World Championship title for being so successful when it comes down to it. But it's been tough all the way through. I think everyone's going to take a bit of a pause here as we figure out what's happening, but when you think about, what K-Dop has accomplished throughout the entirety of his career, I mean, there are few games far and away where he does not contribute in a meaningful way. And I think when you put it down to the absolute wire, he is definitely one of the greatest players to ever play the game. So I think you make an excellent point saying that just because it's not Sunday doesn't mean you shouldn't be wary.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's crazy the amount of legacy and power there is, and K-Dop has won 3 world championships, second only to the GOAT Turbo Pulsa, but I believe he has played in more grand finals than Turbo Pulsa. Maybe they played in the same amount of grand finals. K-Dop has played in like every grand final since season 3, I believe. The guy is absolutely consistent. But these guys, there's some nice dribble practice here. Alpha showing off his skills.
Look at the command, the 360. Oh, and the catch. Ooh.
That slows the ball down on his hood.
Well, this is brilliant. I love it, actually. If I could ever learn to dribble in reverse, wow, I just got a master class.
Yeah. No, these guys waiting for a bit of a reset here before they continue with the actual Game 5. And I gotta say, like, Speed is a player who, like, originally when he came in for RLCS, we saw him at WSOE. That was where he played with Cooks for the first time. They won that event, had played one LAN, won that first LAN. He's like, wow, my goal for this year, I think it was 2019, was to win a major, and did that in January. Okay, what else am I supposed to do this year? And then for the rest of his, like, I feel like he kind of hit not I wouldn't call it a slump, but consistency became an issue. He was talking about he only starts playing in Game 3, like the games 1 and 2 he wouldn't be there, and if he didn't do enough in Games 3 they get swept. And it is so good to see him playing a series like this where he is being so magnificently consistent on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I think Speed, he has made a very strong I have a very good perception of who I think Speed is as a player, because you're absolutely right. You come in January for WSOE and you're like, what is this player even capable of? You walk up, you shake the guy's hand, and he seems like one of the coolest dudes ever. So I'm like, oh, this is great. But then, they get the taste of what it's like, the constant pressure to have to be at the tip-top perfect shape, to come in, week out, and deliver a top-notch performance. And Speed has absolutely had to struggle with a lot of those demons throughout the course of his career, however short it's been. And to see him come out here and play lights out early on has just been fantastic. So it's really been a treat to watch Mousesports, and Speed in particular on it, develop into a really well-rounded RLCS player. And you're hoping that he has a nice, long, and fruitful career.
Yeah, I feel... This Mouse team has some of the best, like one of my favorite types of compositions for a team. They have a grizzled veteran who has managed to stay consistent year after year after year, and they also have a brand new player who is super hot and ready to go. And then they have a player that has been around for about a year, has been through a little bit of a slump, has learned some lessons, and has now matured in kind of that second level of player. So as far as like the mentalities they have on that team, I feel like that you have the strength of someone like Cookser who will be able to help through the hot highs and lows of new players, and you have so much consistency now across this team that they're going to be really deadly, especially right now in this kind of early stage of Arju being the new hotness.
And I think that's kind of one of the fun things that you see when a lot of teams make that first roster move, because a lot of teams, they get that jolt of invigoration when they make a roster move like that, because it feels completely fresh. It's that novelty effect of, man, you know what? we don't have to be the same thing that we've been for so long. We've got a new player. Arju's looking fantastic, and that just, you know, it turns your brain's gears a couple different ways, and it refocuses you onto the game. So I think that's what's led to Mousesports looking like such a strong team compared to their performance in the RLCS. You saw it with teams like G2 when they picked up Chicago. Flip side, when they first picked up Mystic, they went on a tear. Dignitas, when they first picked up Yukio, they won a major. A lot of teams, as soon as they make that first roster move, that first tournament they play in is probably one of the best looks you're ever going to get at that team. So this very well could be it for Mousesports.
I mean, and it's one of those, you have a new player. So the new player is like, I've got to impress. And so he is firing on all cylinders. He is giving you his absolute everything. And both the other players are like, we have to evaluate this player as well as make sure he doesn't show us up. So everybody's paying attention. Everybody is really, but there's no complacency when you make a new roster move. So I think there's definitely a chance. And I keep coming back to the fact that Cookser is still this good. I'm not gonna lie, like every season is kind of like is this the season he falls off? There's a few players like him, there's Kernovi, there's a few of the guys that have been around since season 1. I'm like, is this the season where he finally stops being good at this game? And how about it? Like, I just can't believe this. Like, you see it when in gaming, you guys see the scoreboard at home. He's got that season 2 world champion title. He played in the finals of season 1, and he's
basically ancient at this point.
9 seasons later, we're about to go into season 10.
Yeah, and it really is that in and of itself is its own accomplishment. To consistently play at such a long career in esports, especially for any player, is always incredibly difficult as we get game 5 underway. And the fact that Cookser has gone through so many ups and downs and still been able to deliver a top-notch performance, you're absolutely right. It really does speak to the mentality of a person like that.
Now, you guys at home couldn't see the chat, but I can guarantee you what was happening was that the players were like, hey, we're not on Champions Field. We can't play Game 5 unless we're on Champions Field. You've got to remake the server. So we made that happen. We're here now, and it's time for a proper and right Game 5. K-Dop out to Alpha. The shot from midfield, an absolute laser that Cookser just turns away. What a deflection. And we start off with fireworks in the first 30 seconds.
And it was not easy. Cookser was under pressure on the goal line as well, having to be wary of a demo attempt too. So tough plays to make, and look at Vitality. Oh man, just that brief reset. I feel like they've really awoken something in themselves. They're like, all right, you know what we're going to do? We're going to come out here, do all the crazy stuff, the flip resets, the mind games, the touches off the ceiling. It's all coming out.
I mean, you would think that a pause like that would benefit Mouse more in the long run, just to kind of break up the momentum the Vitality had really been building up. But no, they're playing like the Vitality that we've known and loved over the many seasons. A team where every single player is a triple threat, and every single player is possible of being the top 5 clips of the day.
Oh, speed, big play.
Oh, double demolition. It's all up to Alpha. He finds a solid clear, and we'll get a second one. He'll now go for the dribble, slow things really down. This team has plenty of time to get situated, and the double demolition won't matter.
Yeah, Cookser are definitely going to be disappointed with this touch there. They definitely had a lot of pressure, and Speed rips one towards the wall. So both teams willing to go for those passes into the middle with a little bit of extra space that they've both had here in this Game 5. And that is perhaps the biggest departure. There's been a distinct lack of space in games 1 through 4. It's been tough to get some passes into the middle. And here in Game 5, both teams with a little bit of extra room to work with, and they're firing bangers towards the goal.
It's all about that speed. Also the player. Now Fairy Peak coming on in. Alpha with a shot from midfield. Nobody there. Cookser nearly gets back in time, but no. Vitality will draw first blood.
Yeah, that one just bounces out into the middle. Speed not able to get that ball up. Goes out off the sidewall with nobody back in time. And you're right, Cookser dangerously close. If he was even a couple milliseconds sooner, I think he actually gets under that ball and could pull it out.
Fairy Peak and K-Dop now working together on the kickoff. Finds the flip reset, but Speed not going to be in there in time. Alpha is able to pick it up. Speed's clear, just a little bit too juicy.
On another kickoff, and Speed is absolutely locked down there. He can't do anything. As soon as K-Dop gets that flip reset, Speed is committed to defending a touch into the top of the goal. And the fact that that ball came down at him at such an awkward angle, Speed was absolutely tongue-tied on that goal line. K-Dop put him in a tough spot, and that was great recognition from the rest of Vitality to jump on that chance.
Vitality couldn't put a goal in, couldn't spy a goal in games 1 and 2. And now a 2-goal lead at halftime again. And this one, the one that really matters. You win it here, you win it all, and you're through to the winners finals and guaranteed a top 3 finish in the European Spring Series. Alpha to the edge. Speed just dumps it in the midfield. K-Dop will take to the air with it, stretch it past Cookster. Arju will trap it. Fairy Peak and Alpha both waiting for that second touch, and there it comes now. Alpha off the wall, looking for the shot, nearly sets up the K-Dop, but actually maybe blocks his own teammate. And now the pressure on the far end. Speed looks for the bumps. Fairy Peak dodges him and gets the save.
Speed so close, and you recognize this is where Mousesports might start getting a little desperate. They go for the lay down for Speed, and again, Vitality all over it.
Mouse will not go away. Shot after shot, just barely under the crossbar. This one will be under, but too soft and easily read by Alpha. Arju out of boost, won't be able to follow this one. K-Dop has to push it to the corner and just wasn't able to get the angle around and onto the net once more. Speed will have another opportunity here, but off the top of his hood, he'll have to follow it up. Finds a bit of a bump, but Fairy Peak now long way down. Keeps that ball near the ceiling. Cookster, quick adjustments, finds Speed out of the corner. Nobody home to take the shot, though. And Alpha will have this one all the way back and into the blue.
But now it feels like Mousesports really trying to make too much with too little. They might stretch themselves a little thin because they know they need 2 in quick succession. I don't know if that's really going to benefit them in the long run because Vitality have looked so solid throughout the entire series. And did one finally sneak past Speed?
I think it might have. And you said they needed 2 in quick succession. Now they really need 2 in quick succession. Yes, Speed there in the net, just doesn't have the perfect read with that weird bounce out of the corner.
Thought his teammate had a tip.
Stretched just a bit farther past him, and now they do have to find 2 quickly and then leave themselves.
They're doing the boost. They're doing the boost.
Demolition. Here's the start. Oh my goodness, they're coming back.
They got everything here. That ball went straight out to the left. Speed won the boost in the midfield. Arju took the boost in the corner, and they were done at that point. I mean, Fairy Peak is locked into that goal line, and you are not getting out alive, that's for sure.
55 seconds, down by 2. Mouse won games 1 and 2, but then have struggled, and now on match point for both sides here in game 5. Fairy Peak out of the corner. Here comes Cookster. A demolition on the Fairy Peak, but not before the rest of his team. Vitality pushes it all the way down. Demolition not going to matter. This ball dangerous, and Arju out of his goal. Puts it right under the hood of Alpha. Takes another shot. Cookster's got the block. 30 seconds left, up by 2. Vitality looking strong. The Speed across to Arju. Into the midfield. Cookster wants it, but Alpha's there. Speed has to wrap all the way back around. Onto the wall. Up for it, and just nothing is getting through this midfield.
Yeah.
Vitality constantly shutting them down. Attempt after attempt.
They're stretching, no
There's
doubt.
the Speed. They tried for the infield pass, but the interception's there with 5 seconds left, down by 2. Alpha with all the boost in the world. A flip reset to work with as well. They nearly put in another one here. It bounces on the goal line, but it's not going to matter. Vitality reverse sweep Mouse to put themselves into the winners finals.
What a comeback for Vitality throughout the series. Game 1 and 2, I mean, they were close.